How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a little tutorial here. This is Eddie, as always, and we are in the world that I'm making that map on. And not an adventure map, but my own the die in one hit puzzle challenge map type thing. And it's going along pretty well. I haven't, yeah, but more on that later. I put up a leaf screen so you couldn't really see too much behind it because I don't want to give it away. But one thing that I'm going to be doing in the map is I'm going to be having a command block set it to day every time it turns to night. So, you know, I did what I usually do is I just look up tutorials and follow them step by step and came up with this, which is a day-night sensor, but that's no fun. So this would do it exactly that. If it was connected, it would set the time to 0 when the power was on, and the power comes on when it's nighttime. But I wanted to do a tutorial. I wanted to come up with my own system, and in the end result, I came up with this. And from what I've seen, these two work just as fast. This one's larger, so technically the one that I made is worse. But it's my own, and also it makes like a neat pattern that, oh god, kind of looks like a swastika. Well, ignore that. That's bad. Okay. But forget about that. Anyways, but it makes like a neat little pattern. And also it's really easy to see how it works, or I should say easier, since less of it is like tucked underneath and, you know, compacted on top of each other. But I'm gonna bring this video. I want to do like a step-by-step process of exactly how it all works, and the mechanics that the Minecraft mechanics that it uses to get it done. So, first things first. What, you know, in order that you have to detect a change, you have to, you know, a change has to occur in the game for you to be able to utilize it from day to night, you know, for you to be able to detect it that is not your own observation. So one thing that happens is what happens actually? No, it looks like all the light values stay the same, except for visual lighting or whatever. But it looks like actually all the numerical values of light stay the same. Well, okay, so, but whatever. But one thing that changes, for whatever reason, is that grass underwater, oh, see, look, that night, it already detected, that was almost instantaneous. But grass underwater will become dirt. That's one of the things that changes. So I've got 3 setups here, grass underwater. We can watch them and see. Let's test something. I theorize that having lights next to it might not matter. I don't know. Oh, okay. This is taking a while. I put 3 down so that hopefully we could observe this nearly instantaneously, but that's not happening. Perhaps lighting does matter? Oh, wow, this is a bad start. Let's try putting more water. How weird and terribly unfortunate for me to begin like this. Oh, no. Go away. If you look over here, let me light this up so you can see it. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is all dirt floor here. It started out as grass and it became dirt because I put water on. There we go. See? Dirt is on that one now. So it is random. Now you saw my day-night sensor worked almost instantly when the text at night came, when the command block shouted that out. Also, if we go and we look at the output over here, it's on. So clearly this does work. So even though that was a little iffy, stay with me. There's a random factor in the game. In other words, the code actually says wait in a random amount of time, turn back into dirt if there's water, you know. So let us, just for visibility's sake, turn this back on today. And now, how do we harness this, right? So if you notice, 1 second, there we go. Dirt and grass are completely different blocks. So it doesn't just remove what it's basically doing is it's removing the grass and placing dirt. And then when grass goes back, it's removing the dirt and placing grass. Is basically what it's doing. Except it's theoretically, it's like changing it without removing it, but you can think of it as removing it and placing it, and that's more or less what's happening, except it's happening so fast that it's not actually happening. It's just changing. But anyways, so how do we harness this? Well, when a block is what am I gonna find? Ores. There's redstone ore. And we're gonna go for fire too. So every block in the game has an ID. So I happen to know that the ID for stone is 1. So, and the ID for air is 0, I guess you could say. So if this block where the stone is right here has an ID of 1 right now, right? So in this location on that coordinate point in the Minecraft world, that's got a 1. And now it's got a 0, and now it's got whatever dirt is, and now it's got whatever grass is, now it's got whatever redstone ore is, and now the redstone ore is like activated. And I don't know if that's a separate block. I would assume it probably is, but it's just not something that's on the creative inventory. Fire does have an ID, so now that's a different ID than that, because fire is a block. So, at least I'm pretty sure fire is a block. So, with that in mind, then you have to know what happens, what Minecraft does whenever a block is placed or changed or removed, and that is a called a block update, which basically, so if you have let's get rid of the stone, get some ice. Okay, so if I break this, oh, it did have an update. Okay, for whatever reason I thought it wasn't going to flow. But regardless, so here's a good example. So grass, right? When you put a block on top of it, it will turn to dirt eventually. And basically what's happening is how does, so right now it's not checking is there a block on top, is there a block on top for every single grass block in the world. Right now when you place a block, then the game says, okay, something's been changed, check the blocks in the area to see what kind of behavior needs to happen. So that's the block update, right? So place a block here, right? Check the blocks in the area, and I'm not sure how wide of an area it actually is. It's probably like with a radius of 1 block. Like it probably checks this block, that block, block above, black on the side, that kind of thing. And then so when I place this block here, it checks the block below it, and it says that's a grass block. So now the grass block needs to like decay, right? So that means that it sets the timer, starts the timer after a certain amount of time, turns into dirt, etc. You get the point. So So the way we harness this is we take advantage of the fact that Minecraft is checking for a block update. Now, I believe there are a few ways to do that, but the most common way is with something called a BUD, with block update detector. Pretty plain and simple. And there are many different kinds of ways to build a BUD, but there are two different, like, kinds, I guess you could say, main kinds. And I'm going to be talking about kinds that use pistons, because that's the way that I usually do it. And it uses a bug called, like, the quasi-connectivity kind of thing. I don't know. If you want a lot of explanation about that, I would watch Seth Bling. Did, like, Redstone with a Mojangster or something. So, if I use a lever to power this stone brick block, piston extends because the piston is next to a powered block. When the piston is diagonally next to a powered block, though, there's a bug in Minecraft. This is something that they said they would never fix. It is technically a bug, but it's been used in so many things that it's cool, and they decided to leave it as an actual feature, I guess you could say, of the game and of pistons. So, it's powered diagonally, and if I cause a block update, it extends, right? And then if I unpower it, if I unpower it after it's been powered diagonally, it will stay extended, and whoops, sorry. And then I can then when I cause an update to it, it'll retract. So really, when this happens, when when you power a block, it does a check for updating all the surrounding blocks, right? So updates the surrounding blocks. So the piston is updated and says, oh, I'm next to something that's powered, so let's extend. Over here, the piston it does a check, but it doesn't check the piston for updating, right? But when the piston is updated, it does a check to see if it's powered, and it includes a diagonal, it includes like a diagonal direction. So in other words, this block is powered, and it doesn't cause a block diagonal to it to check, but when the piston does check, it checks if the diagonal block is powered. So there's a bit of a delay that you can see here that can be triggered whenever the piston is going to check. So there it is, it's going to check, and then it goes, and then if I unpower it, again, it doesn't cause an update to the piston, but when I do cause an update to the piston checks to see whether or not it's still receiving power diagonally, and it will retract. So that's basically the mechanics. Complicated, I'm not sure I understand it completely. Again, I recommend Seth Bling. Anyways, so the two different kinds of BUD, block update detectors. There's pulse and there's toggle, is what I call them. So pulse is this one right here, and it's powered diagonally because this block is diagonal with the piston, and this block is powered from the redstone. Now, this is how it works. This is the output here, so it's on, pulse is off when I cause an update. When I cause another update, pulse is off, and it goes back on, pulse is off, goes back on, pulse is off, goes back on, right? Now, the way this works is that the repeater powers the gravel, which powers the redstone dust, which powers the block, which diagonally powers the piston, and causes the behavior we saw over here. Then when you cause that update, the piston is going to extend. It's going to push glass up here, where the gravel is, and the gravel is going to be pushed up one higher. And what's going to happen is that glass cannot receive... Oh, redstone causes weird behavior. Redstone has a bit of a different update range. See if I can trigger that again. Yeah, so that's just redstone difference. Anyways, So glass cannot be powered. Like, sorry about that. Interrupted. Anyways, show a normal block, such as, let me make this the same. Okay, so attempting to pass through glass because it's transparent. It's a type of block. Glowstone, glass, pistons, they're all transparent. It's not going to go through. Passing through a normal block like sandstone goes through fine. So once that piston does extend, because of the block update, this is going to become unpowered, and the piston's going to retract because it's no longer receiving that power, because the glass is the one that's getting it. And then it's going to be reset when the gravel falls back down and the power continues. So actually, let's wait a second before turning it back to day and see the thing trigger. Oh, there it goes. It's time set 0. Okay, so that's one kind. The other kind is toggle. Now, what toggle does? Oh, one more. Well, yeah. Okay. I was gonna show redstone ore, but whatever. So what toggle is this is the output here. We got so we'll do it with a light. We have on when you cause an update, and when you cause another update, off. So the update can occur anywhere around the piston. I should mention that. So on, off, on. Place one up here, off. Place one over here, on. Remove that one, off. Move it, on. Or light a fire, cause it on. Once it naturally burns out, because it's on sandstone, and it will eventually burn out soon. In any second now. Once it burns out, it's going to cause another update. So that's one way to... And also fire burns out on a random timer. If you watch, these will burn out randomly. Or at least it should. There, burned out. So, see, that one burned out. Well, that was actually the first one we placed, so... No, this is the first one we placed. So, yeah. They're not burning out in order, you can clearly tell now. So there's a random factor to when fire burns out. And so that's like one way. If you lit a fire next to a bud switch, after a random amount of time, bud switch would turn off. So that's... Or if you used a pulse one, it would pulse when you started it, and it would pulse again when you ended it. Anyways. So, over here, I have a pulse bud switch with a grass block underneath it. And I've just put in water. So, that means that in nighttime, this grass should decay. And when it does, it will cause a block update and a pulse or fire, and it will signal off that note block. So let's see if this actually happens. Now with any luck, any second now it should also give out, the command block should also say it's nighttime. If I'm lucky, this will happen quickly. Oh, okay. I apologize for loud noises. Oh, this is gonna be a long video if I have to keep waiting for this stuff. Alright, well that triggered. That's the slowest I've ever seen it go. And that wasn't so bad. It's only dark for a little while. Turn it up so I can hear the note block. Ugh. These already went. Not that one. Damn it. I don't know what causes this to go different speeds. One thing I'm tempted to try is to... Oh! Well, there's one way to break it. I'm tempted to try removing some of the light. But either way, you get the idea. So there's a block update happens here. Here's a better way to decay it, right? Put a block over it, and then that'll decay it quicker. Should, hopefully. Oh, come on. This is one tough grass block. This is the advantage of hooking up multiple, because you will get once the first one goes, you can change it today, and then you don't have to wait for all the rest. So that's why I have 4 setups working at one time. So does this design over here from the video I found. And you could easily copy my setup over over in like MC Edit or something like that, or Creative or Survival. It doesn't take that long to build. And they don't, since it will turn, oh, there we go, and ding, okay. Now, it will turn today, now, so, that's that. So now let's go look at the setup here. Okay, I have people practicing their lines outside my room, because they're actors and actresses. Anyways, so, I was wondering why everyone was screaming. I was about to be like, do I have to go break something up? But, no. Anyways, so, no, that's why that was there. Alright, so we got, no, it hasn't regrown yet, but it'll regrow in a second, and when it does, it'll cause a block update. The grass under here, it'll cause a block update, and I will detect that with a toggle switch this time. So that means that this wire here will turn on, because the piston will retract, cover that torch, and then power this line, which will go back in and cause the block update to reset, because it'll repower it diagonally. And, oh, there we go. And when that happens, it turns, this line gets inverted and retracts the piston, which covers the water, because, something I haven't mentioned yet, in order to get the grass to, oh, that's why, okay, yeah, so in order to get the grass to regrow, you need to remove the water. Oh, it's a source block. And that grass has always grown, so this pool of water right here decayed, was grass before, and it decayed, and then now it's not growing back because of the water, and I left it because there's water in my map, and this kind of draws some of the squid spawns away from that, so I get falling squids as frequently. There you go, grass regrew, perfect. Alright, so what? So, sorry, kind of lost my train of thought. So we have this setup here that's working. So now now the water's back on. If we turned it back to night, the water on top of this grass block would decay the grass. The piston would extend because of the bud switch, and then the torch wouldn't be powering the block and powering the wire, because there'd be no block. So this wire would turn off, and the piston would no longer be powered diagonally, so the next time the piston got updated, aka when the grass grew back, then it would be able to retract and power this line again. But while the line is not powered, it is inverted here and powering the piston to shut off the water so that the grass can grow back whenever daytime comes back around. Now, this lamp, let's again, waiting on a single grass block will probably take a while. Oh, again, instantaneous over there, working very nicely. This one over here hasn't gone off yet, but it should go off really soon. It's technically just as fast as the one I have over there that keeps triggering every nighttime, but again, random, so possibly not. But over here, we're waiting for this grass to decay, and then it's going to power this torch, power that redstone dust, and power the lamp underneath it. And while we're waiting, I'm going to take this time to mention that you might have expected, of course we're almost a half hour in and I'm going to mention this, but you possibly expected just a tutorial on how to build this kind of a thing. I don't like to run my stuff like this at the end of the episode once I've explained it all and felt that I've given it that everyone who's watching understands the process. Then I will just do one of those, place this block, place that block, place this block, and you, ta-da, you have it done. There are possibly, I would say there are definitely dozens of tutorials out there. Oh, see, this is the problem with having one graph. There we go. Decayed caused block update, and allowed this to get powered. This would be the output line here, but I just put a lamp. So there's a simple night light right here. There's definitely smaller designs out there, but I don't care. Anyways, what I like about mine is the way that it all fits together. So as you can see, the output wire's here, and you get the apparatus over here. You could, and I did, build one going that way, one going that way, one going that way, right? And and then they'd be fast, and they could all hook up to the same wire here, and then that would make it so that the minute one of these triggered, right, it would power this, and if this lamp was a command block turning it to day, it would turn to day, and the others wouldn't get a chance to decay because it would return day, and it would be ready for the next time it turned night. So let's take a look at exactly that right now, and then we'll build it like I promised. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 of exactly that right there, and it all comes down, like I said, into this command block. So let's wait a second until these two trigger back and the command block becomes unpowered, and then I will change the command block to set it to daytime, and as opposed to just announcing that it is nighttime, and we can watch it go in action. But the only new mechanic to this, besides from what we talked about over here, the only thing new is the fact that it's basically the simplest OR gate possible, which basically means if this or that or that or that trigger, then the output's going to happen, and the output is we fire the command block, which turns it back to day. So an OR gate, right, or OR logic, right, let's do like 3 inputs and an output, right? So this is our output here. Put not that. Put one of those. Okay, so here we go. If that one is on, it's going. If that one is on, let me use. I don't speak well. If this input is on, it's on. If that input is on, it's on. If that input is on, it's on. If all 3 of them are on, it's on. No matter what, if this or if input 1 or input 2 or input 3 or input 4, etc. is on, the output's going to be on. And that is simply connecting redstone dust together. Now, an AND gate, slightly off topic, but kind of to, you know, while we're talking about this, might as well touch on it briefly. An AND gate, so this would be the output here, right? Put the lamp back, and you put the inputs here. If this one is on, the output is not on. If this one is on, the output is not on. If both of them are off, the output is not on. But if this one and this one, hence the name AND gate, are on, then the output is on. And then finally, the last one I'm going to go over, whoops, is a, I do not remember the name, but basically it's the opposite. I think it's a NAND gate. So if one of them is on, it's on. If the other one is on, it's on. If neither of them are on, it's on. But if both are on, it's off. So it's kind of just the inverted of the AND gate, right? So those, like, redstone mechanics kind of work with those basic gates to deal with things. So in this one, it doesn't matter which one of these detects that it's night first. We want it to change it back to day. So no matter which one, so it doesn't matter. This one or that one or that one or that one could detect that it's day, or that it's nighttime, and then we want to set it back to day. So time set to nighttime. That one just triggered. I just saw it. And time set to 0. Oh yeah? I challenge you again. Now I actually didn't give... You wouldn't be firing it into night that quickly, so I actually didn't give this one enough time to reset. So now it's going to technically be slower, because only these 3 are detecting nighttime, while this one is waiting to detect day again. So I probably shouldn't have done that. I did just see that one fire a second time, I think. Or no, that was this one, actually, I guess. So that was pretty quick. Oh, but this one, it's still powered. Yeah, so... Sorry, I screwed it up. You can't do that. You have to... You can't fire it into night multiple times, or else this will still be powered and won't turn off and on again to trigger the change in the command block to change time of day. Okay, so I don't want to give you a sneak peek on the map. That was super in-depth, I would say, into how night sensors work and bud switches, and the end result, the simple end result, which you could have just looked up a tutorial for if you didn't care how it worked, you just wanted it to work. But where's the fun in that? But the end result is, is that we have a command block that will turn our world to daytime once it becomes nighttime. So in order to super speed this up, I'm actually going to use both systems. We have this one that I found online, which is super compact and awesome. I don't remember where I found it though. And then this one that I invented myself, which is not super compact, but I think kind of looks cool and is also awesome, I would like to believe. So now that I have both of these running, that means there's technically like 8 bud switches detecting and nighttime, which means it really should work fast. That's really overkill. It really should work fast now. So I'm gonna do a very brief recap, and then I'm gonna just straight up build my version. So here we go. During nighttime, grass decays while it is underwater. When grass decays, it changes from a grass block to a dirt block, which triggers the surrounding blocks to update themselves and check for new necessary behavior. Pistons, when powered diagonally, when they are initially powered diagonally, are not part of what gets given what gets told to update. But when you update them manually by adding a block, removing a block, changing a block, that kind of thing, including like wheat growing next to it, or reeds growing next to it, or cactuses growing. Cactuses don't grow next to things because they don't like being next to things, but you know, that kind of thing. Piston will fire then if it is powered diagonally, and it will stay extended until it is another update happens when it is not powered diagonally anymore. And so combining those two mechanics together, you can create a day-night sensor like this over here, which just and then the grass only regrows when the water is removed. Another important thing to remember. So which is why you need the piston up here to extend and block the water flow. So you can have grass that will grow during the day and trigger a switch, trigger a bud switch, like so, and take the output from there, and then you can toggle it so that when it becomes nighttime, when the grass decays again, and get the output. But that's really slow when you only use one grass block. You need to use many grass blocks in order to speed up the process and then just link them together. So that's basic overview of how it works. If you happen to fall asleep through some of the other parts. There's something in my throat. Lord help me. Okay, so let's build. Starting off with, let's build it over here, closer. Let's build it in this area that I just cleared right here. Because I have my line of things for the pick block function to use. Okay, so we're going to need sticky piston and gravel. Could also use sand, but that doesn't stick out too well in video against the sandstone. So, and let's start off. I'm not really sure where best to start with the grass block. Right. So here's the grass block that we're going to want to detect the change in. So in order to get it to regrow, it's helpful to surround its base in grass. Now we're going to put the piston that does the changing, and we're going to, oh nope, sorry, it's not right. I was about to build the pulse one. I don't want to build the pulse one. And let's keep that torch out of there for a moment. So this is how you want it to go now. Right? So piston faces outward and has a block on top, or rather a block connected to it. And when you have the torch underneath, the torch will then power the redstone line and go into a block that is diagonal from the piston, right? I don't know if it matters. Yeah, it does matter if you have a block there, so don't have a block there. And that's, I don't know why that is, but don't. So, I'm going to keep that torch out of there for now. Next, we are going to want to put some more grass. Now, if you don't remove that torch and save it for the end, then when you place a grass block there, and when you place this block, when you place grass around this area, it's going to cause a block update detector. And since this is toggle, it might switch to a state you don't want. Like for instance, right now, the piston is retracted when there's grass. It might switch so that when there's no grass, the piston is retracted. When there is grass, the piston is extended, which just reverses things and makes them more complicated. So, try not to do that. Anyways, so next we are going to need glass to well, no, and normal piston. So normal piston here, and then glass too high. Now that might be too spaced out. It might be able to be compacted, but I don't care really, because I find that it would be too complicated. Anyways, so we'll save the water till the end too. So this is where the water's going to go, and we have the piston ready to turn it on and off, right? So now we just have to power that piston. Now let's place the torch. Okay, so now we just have to power that piston whenever the grass has decayed, right? So the grass is there, right? Because when the grass is decayed, we want there to be no water so that it can grow back. So grass is there right now, so we don't want it to be retracted. But this line is powered right now because we're, you know, ready to detect the block update when the grass decays. So we just have to simply invert it, and the way I like to do it is like this, because we also need to bring it up, and this kind of does that. Both those things all at once. So when the redstone goes into this block, it powers the block, unpowers the torch, and the torch will not power that this redstone line on top of the block. Vice versa, when the grass decays and the bud switch gets detected, then this line will unpower, and the torch will turn on, and it will power this, and it will extend the piston, which will cut off the water. Whew, okay. Now, put the water in it, and we're basically ready to go, except you need your output. So I'd like to put a torch here, and redstone dust, and then we can just put this here and have it set, or rather slash time set 0, right? So when this line turns off, aka when the grass decays, the torch will turn on, which will power this redstone, which will power the command block, and it will turn it to day. Now, I did mine a little differently over there. I put the command block underneath redstone dust just to save a little room. And now you take exactly this and you repeat it in this, I'm going to call it a spiral pattern. Don't care what it looks like. So you get 4 that will all trigger this command block. I'm not going to build that right now because it took me enough time to build this one while explaining it all, and I think you got it. So just start the next one, you know, by building it off. Oh, well, that powered it. Might want to set the command at the command block at the end, something like that, I don't know. And then you're going to need that piston, and next to that piston you're going to put the grass block, and just put this like this, right? And then here we go. See, I messed it up by placing that black grass. This is a good thing to end on. So I've messed it up while building it, right? I triggered the toggle bud switch before I was ready, so now it's off, right? It's giving an on output. Well, it is nighttime. Or no, it's not nighttime. It's just raining. Okay, so it's giving an on output even though it is not nighttime and even though the grass is there. So it's off, right? So now if the grass were to decay, which we can simulate by breaking it, it would give an off output. So it's reversed, and it's hard to fix because if I just break it and place it again, it's just, you know, every change that I make to this block to try to fix it does the toggle, so I'm kind of stuck. So how do you fix it? The way I fix it is I break that redstone dust and I place it again. Not exactly sure how that works, but that's how I fixed it, so that's how you can fix it too. So, that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna start dismantling things while I finish up here, since I don't actually want these buildings here in the map. So the map that I'm building is part of a genre that I am attempting to kind of see if will work or not. It's just testing, really, at this stage. I'm calling it Dead in One Hit, and the idea is that throughout the map you is on normal mode, and you're been starved down to half a health. So if you mess up on puzzles, it's really easy for you to die. Is the idea. And I've really refined the idea a lot since my first video on it. But there's just one really unfortunate part of it all, and that is that you have to starve yourself before you kind of enter the map every time you die, since your hunger resets. But that doesn't take too long, because I did find a way to drain your hunger pretty quickly. Or rather, I didn't find the way, but there is a way to drain your hunger really quickly. So, working on that, or rather, that's been done. But the map itself is I'm having a lot of fun making it. I've added a bit of a storyline to go along with it that I've been enjoying. And yeah, making these challenges is fun. So look forward to that. There's some jokes in it that you might only get. Well, I haven't really talked about it too much in the Let's Play, but for anyone who doesn't know, I love dead bushes. These guys. Because they're so unloved, but they deserve so much love. So that's kind of where, that's like a bit of a joke in the map. But that's just that's all for next time, or for that map later, which will come when I announce the contest for this style of map on the Minecraft forums, where I will challenge everyone in the Minecraft community to take this idea of a one-hit and you're dead map with challenges where any arrow from a dispenser can instantly kill you, and really expand that idea more, since I'm terrible at map making, and there are a lot of people out there who are epic map makers, and I want to see them. I want to see if this is something that can be cool. So I'll be holding that contest. More information on that later. But in my map, it's mostly indoors and lit, so it doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. But I did think this was something that we could attempt to tackle, and that I think we did tackle very successfully, and I wanted to pass that on to you. So you could use any design you like. Now you know how all the design works also, so you could possibly design your own, which is the most fun way to do it, in my opinion. And now when you're making your maps, you can have a way to detect nighttime and make it daytime. If you wanted it to detect daytime and make it nighttime, I think all you would need to do was you have to make that space that out a bit more, so there's a bit more room. But with that one too, it's pretty easy. Just invert the signal, I'm pretty sure, so it'll be on all the time. Wait, so it'll be on all through the night. No, so it'll be on all through the day and trigger it to be night because it's on, and then when it's night it'll stay off, and then when it's daytime again it'll turn on again. So, whoops, looked over towards the map. Anyways, so long episode, but I'd like to think of this as an in-depth explanation. I hope I got it right. If I got stuff wrong, which is extremely possible, since a lot of the stuff I'm kind of inferring from Minecraft mechanics that might not actually be exactly how it works, correct me. I do enjoy being corrected. I enjoy being correct, but I also enjoy being corrected. And yeah, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please show some kind of support, and I will see you in the next video.